Welcome to Fame Flow, where every story reveals a hidden desire, the identity of a crossdresser, and true emotions. A story where power changes hands, roles are reversed, and crossdressing becomes a symbol of control, identity, and transformation after a single turning point. Ujjwal lived in the city of Surat in vibrant Gujarat. It was a city where the days began with the hum of machines and the nights were bathed in colorful lights. Ujjwal, who grew up in the streets of this city, was no ordinary boy. From a young age, he was a young man with a sharp mind, clear thinking, and deep ambition. Always at the top of his class, a favorite of his teachers, and an inspiration to his friends. If a difficult question was asked in the classroom, Ujjwal would be the first to raise his hand. Whenever he got a chance to speak on stage, his voice had such a confident sparkle that the entire hall would fall silent. Debates, dramas, anchoring, plays, dance, whatever the cultural event, Ujjwal's name was always mentioned first, but Ujjwal wasn't driven solely by a hunger for popularity. He harbored a big dream, to achieve something on his own, to bring glory to his family's name, and to create his own unique identity in the world. He knew that the hard work wouldn't be easy, but he had never learned to back down. Time passed, and Ujjwal reached college. The college environment was different, full of friendships, fun, competition, and new ideas. During this time, a grand cultural festival was announced at the college. Posters went up all over the campus, microphone tests began, and different groups started preparing for their performances. All the students gathered in the meeting room. Some wanted to dance, some wanted to perform a skit, some a musical play. Then someone put forward a unique and challenging idea. This time we'll do a role reversal. Meaning, boys would play the roles of girls, and girls would play the roles of boys. First, there was silence in the room, then whispers and laughter filled the air. Some were excited, some surprised, and some nervous. The script was finalized. The story was a romantic drama, an emotional conflict between a hero and a heroine, involving love and misunderstandings. Everyone knew that Ujjwal would get the hero's role. After all, he was confident, smart, and a natural leader. And his close friend Sneha was given the heroine's role. She was beautiful, expressive, and a fantastic actress. But then came the real twist. According to the rules of role reversal, Ujjwal wasn't going to be the hero, but the heroine, and Sneha would play the hero. The entire hall erupted in laughter at this announcement. Some clapped, and Ujjwal froze for a moment. 8,000 questions raced through his mind. Me, the heroine, will I have to wear a sari? Will I have to wear makeup? Will I have to walk like a girl on stage? Sneha smiled and said, "Don't worry, heroine. I'll take care of you." The room filled with laughter again, but a strange challenge had awakened within Ujjwal. Shame, nervousness, and excitement, all three emotions surged through him simultaneously. He knew this wasn't just an act. It was a test of his confidence, courage, and limits. The night of the performance had finally arrived. Colorful lights, loud music, a packed auditorium, and students bustling everywhere. Behind the curtain, there was a flurry of activity, someone adjusting their costume, someone memorizing lines, someone nervously sipping water. Ujjwal's heart was pounding too. He had never played such a role before. The curtain rose. Applause erupted. The play began, but as the scenes progressed, it became clear that things weren't going as planned. Dialogues were misspoken, timing was off, and the emotions weren't as effective as they had been in rehearsals. Ujjwal's performance wasn't what he had envisioned either. He seemed more self-conscious, more awkward, and at times, disjointed. Sneha tried her best, but the magic everyone had hoped for simply wasn't there throughout the play. When the curtain finally fell, there was applause, but it lacked warmth. People slowly filed out, talking quietly, and within a few days, the entire play became just a hazy memory. No one in the college corridors talked about it anymore, but what happened on that stage didn't end a story, it started a new one. During rehearsals, the late-night practices, the repeated retakes, the explanations, the laughter, the teasing, a unique bond had developed between Ujjwal and Sneha. They were no longer just classmates, they had become trusted companions for each other. The play might not have been a success, but their friendship deepened on that very stage of failure. Gradually, they realized it was more than just friendship. Their concern for each other grew. Their hearts fluttered at the smallest things, and one day, without any grand dramatic moment, they acknowledged it, they were in love. College studies were completed. The families talked, an agreement was reached, and Ujjwal and Sneha were married in a grand ceremony. Ujjwal landed a good job at a prestigious bank, while Sneha was making her mark in the corporate world. Her hard work, confidence, and intelligence propelled her forward rapidly. Meetings, presentations, major projects, she excelled in every challenge. A few years later, what she had always hoped for happened. Sneha received a big promotion, but it came with a change. She was transferred to Mumbai. Hearing the news, Sneha was both happy and a little nervous. Mumbai, the city of dreams, fast-paced, towering buildings, a life that never stops. Without hesitation, Ujjwal said, "Wherever you go, I'll go." And so, they left the quiet life of Surat and stepped into the bustling world of Mumbai. In the fast-paced life of Mumbai, there was only one thing that never slowed down, Ujjwal's habit of making bets. Whether it would rain or not, whether the traffic would be clear or jammed, whether the film's hero would die or survive, Ujjwal needed to bet on every little thing. Sometimes jokingly, sometimes seriously, but betting had become a game for him. Sneha disliked this habit from the beginning. She often said, "Life isn't a gamble, Ujjwal," but Ujjwal would laugh it off, "Oh, come on, it's just for fun." One evening, they returned home after a long day at work. It was drizzling outside, and a cool breeze was blowing on the balcony. A match was playing on TV, and Ujjwal was back to his old habit. The bet was small, the outcome of the match, and luck was on Ujjwal's side this time. Sneha lost. Ujjwal dramatically declared, "So, prepare for your punishment, madam." Sneha raised her eyebrows, "What kind of punishment?" Ujjwal said mischievously, "Tonight you'll have a drink with me." Sneha absolutely hated alcohol. She made a face, but a bet is a bet. Reluctantly, she took the bottle, took a sip, and grimaced. Ujjwal laughed. But that night, as she went to sleep, one thing was clear in Sneha's mind, this betting habit has to be cured. For the next few days, Sneha deliberately didn't make any bets. She simply observed when, where, and how Ujjwal placed his bets. She was beginning to understand his patterns. Then, one day, the opportunity arose. They were both in the kitchen. Ujjwal was claiming he could make pasta in 5 minutes, while Sneha was sure it would take at least 10. A bet. Ujjwal immediately said. This time Sneha smiled, confidently, and this time Ujjwal lost. He stood there dumbfounded, while Sneha, with a triumphant smile, said, "Now it's my turn to give the punishment." Ujjwal asked lightly, "Okay, what do you want? Dinner? A massage? Should I clean the whole house?" Sneha paused for a moment, then said in a serious but mischievous voice, You have to wear my undergarments for a week." A stunned silence filled the room. Ujjwal's mouth hung open. The spoon he was holding almost fell from his hand. "What? What did you say?" he asked incredulously. Sneha was calm, but there was a hint of challenge in her eyes. "You heard me. It's a bet, a punishment, and you yourself said that the bet had to be fulfilled." Ujjwal understood that this wasn't just a joke. This was Sneha's way of showing him a mirror to his own habits, with a touch of humor and a lesson thrown in. He took a deep breath and slowly said, "Okay. I accept." Ujjwal's eyes opened as the first alarm went off, but it wasn't a normal morning. The first thing that came to his mind was 1 week. Standing in front of the bathroom mirror, he looked at himself. Everything seemed fine on the outside, the same blue shirt, the same formal trousers, but inside, there was a truth that was constantly unsettling him. He put on a light jacket. Wearing a jacket in Mumbai's humid heat felt strange, but he had no other choice. In the elevator, his neighbor asked, "Brother, a jacket in this heat?" Ujjwal smiled and lied, "The office AC is very cold." As soon as he got into the car, he took a deep breath. Every little movement felt exaggerated while he was driving. He wasn't completely uncomfortable, nor completely normal, was just a persistent, strange feeling, as if an unseen shadow following him. As soon as he reached the office, the first thing he did was tighten his jacket. The cool air of the AC was both a relief and a shield. While sitting in the meeting room, he was constantly adjusting himself carefully in his chair, making sure his clothes didn't shift, making sure no one suspected anything. While giving his presentation, his voice was steady, but only one thought was running through his mind: is anyone noticing? Standing by the coffee machine, his colleague laughed and said, "You seem a little stressed today. Is everything all right?" Ujjwal quickly replied, "Just a little work pressure," but inside, he was drenched in sweat, not just from the heat, but from the fear that someone might find out. At lunchtime, he deliberately ate alone so he wouldn't have to move around too much. Every time he climbed the stairs, he felt like everyone's eyes were on him. The whole day felt like a long ordeal. As soon as he reached home in the evening, he threw off his jacket. Exhaustion, frustration, and relief, all three surged through him at once. As soon as he entered the living room in his t-shirt and track pants, Sneha's gaze fixed on him. The clothes were light, and now it was clearly visible, the lines, the creases, everything. Sneha watched for a moment, then smiled softly. She came closer and said in a loving but teasing tone, "If you're going to wear that, at least learn to hide it." At this, the day's pent-up tension erupted within Ujjwal. His face flushed, his voice rose slightly. "Do you know what kind of day I've had? Every single minute I was terrified someone would see." Sneha laughed and offered him a glass of water. "I'm just making you aware of your habit." The next few days became even more interesting and difficult for Ujjwal. At the supermarket, Sneha joked, "Next time, should we get the right size for you too?" Ujjwal glanced around nervously. Lying in bed at night, he kept remembering, it wasn't just about the clothes, but his defeat, his lesson, and Sneha's victory. One day, his boss suddenly called a meeting. A long table, important clients, all eyes on him. Ujjwal adjusted his jacket, carefully pulled out his chair, and silently prayed that everything would go smoothly. He breathed a sigh of relief when the meeting ended. But he understood, this punishment wasn't just physical, but mental too, and somewhere, slowly, he felt something changing within himself. Saturday morning in Mumbai dawned with a different kind of charm. The cool, Post-rain breeze drifted in. Through the balcony, the streets looked freshly washed, and the sky glowed a soft blue. But the weather within Ujjwal was far from calm. He hadn't slept properly all night. The strange punishment of the past week, the office anxieties, and the domestic squabbles, everything was swirling in his mind. Then, that Saturday morning, Sneha, holding a cup of tea, had casually said, "A new challenge today." Ujjwal looked at her cautiously. "Now what?" Sneha, setting down her cup, smiled and said, "We are going to recreate that college play." A moment of silence hung in the room. Ujjwal instantly remembered that day, the stage, the lights, the laughter, the whispers, and his own awkwardness. The play that hadn't gone well, the one everyone had forgotten. And this time, he asked softly. Sneha looked him straight in the eyes and said, "This time you'll be in full drag. Sari, makeup, everything, like a real heroine." For a moment, Ujjwal felt the ground slip from beneath him, but then, deep inside, that old stubbornness resurfaced, the challenge of the stage, the desire to test himself, and perhaps, the need to prove something. He took a deep breath and said, "Okay. I agree." Saturday afternoon was perfectly still. Only the soft whirring of the fan and the occasional distant hum of traffic could be heard. Sneha had already said she would come in the evening. Before that, Ujjwal stood alone in the room, in front of the mirror. A sari lay spread on the bed, light pink, with a golden border, simple yet elegant. A makeup kit lay nearby, something he had never even touched before. He slowly picked up the sari. He hesitated for a moment, then carefully began to put it on. The fabric draped over his shoulder, wrapped around his waist, and the sari pallu settled perfectly in place. Then he reached for his makeup, a light foundation, delicate kohl around his eyes, and a soft pink lipstick on his lips. The face that emerged in the mirror surprised even Ujjwal himself. The young man standing there had transformed into someone else, not dramatically, but with a refined, dignified, and serene grace, and strangely beautiful. He lightly smoothed his hair, brought a simple smile to his face, and straightened himself up. The doorbell rang. Ujjwal took a deep breath, adjusted his sari pallu, and slowly opened the door. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Sneha froze. Her eyes widened. The Ujjwal standing before her didn't look like a joke, he looked completely like a poised, dignified, and confident woman. No over-the-top drama, no exaggeration, just simplicity, balance, and self-assurance. With a gentle smile, Ujjwal said, "Come in." His voice, too, had changed, softer, controlled, and much more refined. Sneha couldn't speak for a few moments. She simply watched, the gait, the posture, the ease. They began rehearsing the same old play. The same scene, the same dialogues, the same emotions, but this time the atmosphere was completely different. Sunday morning in Mumbai was enveloped in an unusual tranquility. The air was humid after the night's rain, but there was also a gentle coolness. The curtains at the window swayed in the light breeze, a temple bell chimed somewhere in the distance, and the traffic on the street was less noisy than usual. But inside the house, the atmosphere, though calm, was heavy. Ujjwal stood by the bright balcony. A cup of tea was in his hand, but his attention wasn't on it. His gaze was fixed on the distant horizon, as if he wasn't looking at the city, but into himself. This was the last day of the punishment. Everything was supposed to return to normal tomorrow, but strangely, Ujjwal no longer longed for that normalcy. He came inside. Sneha was sitting on the sofa, a book in her hand, but her eyes were elsewhere. She, too, was feeling the weight of the moment. After a few moments of silence, Ujjwal said, Sneha, I need to tell you something. There was no frustration or defensiveness in his voice, only honesty. Sneha closed the book and looked at him. Ujjwal took a deep breath, then said, when all this started, I thought it was just a strange, pointless punishment. I felt ashamed, angry, and afraid of what people would think. He paused. His gaze dropped, then rose again. But in these days, in these clothes, in this form, I felt something I didn't expect. Ujjwal continued, before, I would bet on everything, as if winning was everything. But in these days I've learned, sometimes losing also brings you closer to yourself. Sneha was silent, but something seemed to be melting in her eyes. She stood up, walked over to Ujjwal, and said softly, Ujjwal, I didn't give you this punishment to belittle you. There was no sense of triumph in her voice, only truth. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just wanted you to understand, not everything is a bet, not every moment is a competition. Sometimes in a relationship, it's important to pause, listen, and feel. She smiled, a soft, yet firm smile. And yes, if there's ever another bet, this will be the punishment again. It wasn't a threat, it was a boundary, drawn with love. Ujjwal slowly lowered his head. I was wrong, he admitted. My habit has bothered you many times, and I took it lightly. Sneha took his hand. In that touch, there was neither anger nor distance, only intimacy. I forgive you. For a few moments, they were silent. Only the sound of their breathing, the ticking of the clock, and the faint hum of the city in the distance. Then Ujjwal said with a slight smile, perhaps this was the strangest bet, and also the most important. Sneha laughed, this time, genuinely. At that moment, they both felt that something had changed. It wasn't just the end of a punishment, it was the beginning of a new understanding. They realized that sometimes games, bets, and challenges don't come to defeat us, they come to reveal layers within ourselves.